Kadosh Boker Tov. I'm just going to mention halakha which I was asked, which I'm still in the middle of looking into, which is actually something very, very interesting. We know that when the Kohanim come up to do Aliyah L'Duchan, so the Shliach Tzibur is going to read for them the Birkat Kohanim. There is a Zohar HaKadosh, which is actually brings down that the Shliach Tzibur should turn in the direction, whether it's going to be, for example, he's going to turn to the right, and then turn to the left, and then turn to the center, right, when he's saying Yivarecha, and so on and so forth. However, though, when the Magen Avraham brings this down, is only mashma that you do that when there is no Kohanim. And therefore, there's only the Shliach Tzibur doing Elokeinu Elotenu B'Nechenu B'Brecha V'Shuleshu B'Torah, then you would do such a thing. But if there are Kohanim, then the Shliach Tzibur will not turn to the different directions. Now, another difference between when there's Kohanim or, for example, there's going to be multiple Kohanim is what exactly happens to do with the who's reading what. So we know that the Shliach Tzibur is the one that he's actually reading out the name, or we're going to say the different psukim, right? The words of the psukim, in order that the Kohanim should not make a mistake. So Maran brings down in Sif Yud Gimel, he says, Makre otam ashatz milah b'milah, vehem onim acharav al kol milah. So basically Maran says that what happens is that the Shliach Tzibur is going to start and he's going to read out milah b'milah, word for word, and then they are going to answer him word for word. Now, when it says this, the Mishnah Berurah already holds that there's going to be a difference in Shitat Maran whether there's going to be one Kohen or multiple Kohanim. If there's going to be one Kohen, so then the Shliach Tzibur is the one that starts Yivarechecha. If there's going to be multiple Kohanim, so then it's going to be that the Kohanim are going to start. And the reason why is because once there's multiple Kohanim, they're not going to make a mistake. There's a few of them, so they all remember that they're going to start Yivarecha Hashem V'Yishmerecha. Now the halakha which I was asked is, okay, fine, but who's the ikar? Who's the ikar? Is it the Shliach Tzibur or the Kohanim? So obviously, I think the majority of people will tell me it's going to be the Kohanim, which makes a lot of sense. Obviously, because it's the Kohanim that are giving the beracha. It is not the Shliach Tzibur. So now, according to this, it makes sense a few of the different halachot. One of the halachot was that there was a minhag amongst whether it's going to be Moroccans or others as well. They used to say pesukim, which means that when they would say Yivarecha, they would do Yivarecha Hashem, right? Yivarecha Hashem Tzion, right? They would come right until they get to Shalom, 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 Hashem Fativ, which means that they would come and they would say pesukim. So some people went against that. They said, how are you going to say pesukim in the middle of a Birkat Kohanim? So now, if you're going to tell me that the Ikar is not the Shliach Tzibur and the Ikar is the Kohen, so therefore when the Shliach Tzibur is saying the Yivarechecha, so therefore I could say the pasuk. Why? The Shliach Tzibur at the end of the day is only a tuki, right? He's only a parrot. He's only saying something in order that the Kohanim do not make a mistake. But what the Shliach Tzibur is saying, I don't really care about the Shliach Tzibur. I only need the beracha from the Kohanim. So therefore I would be able to say these pesukim, but I would be very careful that I would say these pesukim only when the Shliach Tzibur is saying that Yivarecha Hashem Yishmerecha v'chule v'chule. Right? Once the Kohanim are saying their part of the beracha, then I would have to actually keep my mouth closed and I would have to listen because I'm supposed to listen. Remember that Birkat Kohanim is so important that even though Shulchan Aruch brings down, Siman Kudal, when he's talking about that you're supposed to keep quiet during Amidah in order to listen to Kaddish and Kiddusha, Rav Moshe Feinstein brings down the same halakha applies to Birkat Kohanim, which means if a person's in the middle of the Amidah and all of a sudden they start Birkat Kohanim, you would keep quiet and you would just listen to the Birkat Kohanim and have in mind to be to the Chovah, the Birkat Kohanim. That's what you would be doing during, right, that quiet Amidah. You're obviously not allowed to talk because you're not allowed to talk for anything, neither for Kaddish or Kedusha as well. However, though, you would keep quiet and listen to the Birkat Kohanim. So now the question that was asked is, okay, fine. So then what happens if you have, there are certain people that will do two ways. What does it mean two ways? Some Shliach Tzibur will come and they'll do the Yivarecha quietly. Okay, what does that mean? They'll do it very, very quiet, and then the Kohanim will come and they'll do the rest. Others, right, many times they'll have the Shluchei Tzibur, which are Chazanim, that they'll come and they'll take 20 minutes for their Birkat Kohanim, and the Kohanim are Tefillin. What do you mean Tefillin? The Kohanim, you prefer that maybe the Kohanim are not going to be there, or the Kohanim are the ones that get upset, because they're the ones that afterwards come to the Chazan and they tell him, listen, I want you to put your hands up like that for a few minutes, right? Remember that according to Shulchan Aruch, you have to have your hands Keneged Kitfehem, right? Keneged Kitfehem means, and by the way, you're allowed to look at the Kohanim throughout the entire Beracha part until they start Yivarechecha. Now towards the end of the Beracha, they're already turning around with their hands up. So you could already actually test with a litmus test, where are their hands? If their hands are below, right, Keneged Kitfehem, it's actually a Beracha Levatala, which means that the Beracha that they just gave you is Beracha Levatala, but it's not Yitzhak Chovah. According to Shulchan Aruch, you need that the hands should be Keneged Kitfehem, and there's a mitzvah min ha-mubchar that even the elbows should be Keneged Kitfehem. Now there is a machloket, it should only be Keneged Kitfehem or Lemala, right, or even higher up. However, though, that's the minimum. The minimum should be their hands should be Keneged Kitfehem, because it should be parallel to their shoulders. So it's very important just to pay attention. So here it's actually brought down. There's a Me'idi in Masechet Sotah that says, Shliach Tzibur makre otam mila b'mila, רוצה לומר, שץ עומד יברכך בקול רם, והם עונים יברכך בנעימה גדולה. Which is very interesting. Here it's saying in the Me'idi that the Shliach Tzibur is not saying it b'sheket, he's not saying it quietly, and then you have the Kohanim. The Shliach Tzibur is actually saying it also b'kol ram. However, though, you realize the differentiation that when he talks about the Kohanim are doing it b'nima gedolah. It doesn't say the Chazan is doing it b'nima gedolah, and the Kohanim are doing it b'kol ram. It's exactly b'nafoch. It's the opposite. The Shliach Tzibur is doing it b'kol ram, but the Kohanim are doing it b'nima gedolah. So he says, so it's mashma over here, that the Shliach Tzibur does have to do it b'kol ram, and it's also in other poskim as well, whether it's going to be the Bach and others as well, that they come and they say also that it has to be b'kol ram. Other people want to actually say that it should be at least b'shaveh. What does it mean b'shaveh? B'shaveh means that at least it should be the same tune or the same tone as the Kohanim. But now that the other one is going to be that the Shliach Tzibur is also going to be b'kol ram, or the Shliach Tzibur is going to be higher than the Kohanim, that also doesn't make sense. Because if the Yikar is going to be that the Kohanim are the ones that are doing everything, they are the main beracha, and the Shliach Tzibur is just there, that's going to be a problem. Now another problem that's also brought down here in the Sefer of Zavichi on Birkat Kohanim, he says also very, very important, which is very common. If you will pay attention, another thing to realize is the Shliach Tzibur doing it by heart or not? Why? This is another way how to test the Shliach Tzibur if he knows what he's doing or not. Right? Why? If right now you're going to tell me that the Shliach Tzibur is doing it by heart, so get rid of the Shliach Tzibur. I don't need the Shliach Tzibur. The Kohanim could do it by heart as well. Right? What? The Shliach Tzibur is better than the Kohen. But rather the entire purpose was the Kohanim don't have any Sidur in front of them. Now they might make a mistake. So therefore what do? We do that the Shliach Tzibur is there with a Sidur in front of him, and he's going to be reading it from a Sidur, so they won't make the mistake. Because if not, he could also make a mistake. Because if not, you go back to square one. So he says it's very important to make sure that the Shliach Tzibur is reading it from the K'tav.